Morning, everybody. How you all doing? Sometimes still learning. Anyhow, look, it's the Saturday before Christmas. Feeling a little Christmassy this year. Very odd because you all know I don't celebrate Christmas, but I'm feeling Christmassy this year. Wanted to play Santa, and I did. Been collecting for a while now, toys for the kids. Got it all together. Challenged my staff. Asked them for some donations. They did the same. We did a good thing, man. We did a really good thing. We collected a nice amount of toys. Gave it to a Title I school that's not too far from the job. Dropped that off on Thursday. Really warmed my heart, to be honest with you. When I walked in, they had a table set up, and they were already giving away some stuff for the kids, but popped the collar a little bit. Came through real smooth with it. I ain't even gonna lie. Uh, Came through with remote control cars. I had a couple of tabletop games. Like I had an air hockey game. I had a foosball tank game that was tabletop. Those little, not the electric scooters, but the push and goes, if you will. We used to have kick and goes as a kid. If you don't know what that is, your life sucks. But we had a kick and goes when I was younger. These are more, well, it's I guess it's kick and go ish, but it doesn't have like the little pedal and the brake and all that type jazz in the back. Whatever. But I had a couple of those. Did some earbuds for the older kids. Did a lot of stuff for the young kids. So I tried to mix it up nicely to for the different. It's a full fledged elementary school, so I wanted to get something for the different levels of student and stuff. Got a little bit of this, got a little bit of that. Had some Batman stuff. Had some. I'm a nerd. It is what it is. Had some Batman stuff. Had some Star Wars stuff. I don't think I got any Harry Potter stuff, but tried to sprinkle in a little bit of everything again to appeal to all age levels and stuff. So we came through very nicely with that. And as I walked in, one of the counselors uh, saw me and she was like, I was grateful for another drop off and you came right on time. And oh my goodness, you have some nice stuff. I appreciate that. Even had a gift for the principal to thank her for the partnership and stuff like that. That was cool. It was really cool. Again, I'm not the Christmas dude. Even my grandkids, hell, even my kids, they be like, yo, Pop didn't play that shit. I did not play that shit. Look, I give you something all year long. I'm not breaking my neck or my back or my pockets to rush out here with all these crazy people because there's a lot of crazy people out there, especially now, trying to get something for fucking Christmas. Who does that? Well, plenty of people do that. I'm not doing that. You know, but beyond food, clothing, and shelter, it's about making sure that you're recognized all year long. So why would I do that? That makes no sense to me. None to me. If that's your thing, that's your thing. I respect it. Go for it. Enjoy yourself. It just ain't mine. So definitely felt a little different this year. I felt the Santa Claus-ish. The cats at the gig were like, yo, it's because you're a grandfather. Nah, because my grandkids don't get shit like that. Now, I have been flooding them because they're 3 and 2. So I have been flooding them with stuff here, stuff there. But the 3 year old's about to turn 4, and the 2 year old's about to turn 3. So the 4 year old that's over. It's over for her. She turns 4 in February. So no more toys at this point. It's all about educational stuff and other things because I think those things are more important for her. I don't give a damn her parents don't like it. I don't give a damn she don't like it. Later on, she'll be like, yeah, I understand what you were doing. I respect that, hopefully. And if she don't, it's okay. That's what I'm going to do with my money because it's my money. Then the 3 year old, she got another year. When she hits 4, it's a wrap. So, and I extended that because usually with kids, I'm like 3, it's a wrap. Like you don't get no toys after 3. What's wrong with you? You need to be learning something. Get your ass a calculator. Some freaking math books. Hell, if they sold Encyclopedia Britannicas right about now, them damn kids would have Encyclopedia Britannicas, different damn colors, damn Skippy. Now I know some of you folk out there like, man, I only had the one. Yeah, we had different ones. I was a little diddy growing the hell up. Yeah, but well, when I was with my parents, my grandmother, my grandfather, when it was Yvette's turn, nah, son, we was on the struggle bus. Not destitute, but it was different. Life was different with a single mother versus having my grandparents there. Totally different. Totally different vibe. You know what I mean? Dog, it's different in general for summer for me right about now. I mean, summer, I'm sorry, Christmas for me right about now. I apologize because I was thinking it feels like freaking summer. I was in Vegas last weekend with Rodney. Hopefully he'll be on later on. I know Thomas Berry's gonna come on a little later too. But I'm out there and they hit freaking the damn palm trees. That don't feel like Christmas to me, son. Like it's I didn't grow up with that, right? So you driving, I'm whipping the whip, and it's freaking 70 degrees in the daytime. It's 70 freaking degrees. I think the highest it got up to was like 73, maybe even 75 while I was out there. I was out there what Thursday, Friday, and Saturday last week. And I think honestly it got up to 73, 75 on Thursday or Friday. One of them damn days. Don't matter. Now it gets cool in the evening. Will not dispute that at all. But it was warm as hell during the daytime. And I'm driving, I'm like, yo, how you got the Santa Claus and the ho ho ho? And it's hot as hell outside. And what the hell? I'm confused. Even here in Atlanta, I'm like, it don't feel right. It just don't. I'm the hawking. Ain't no snow. Ain't no threat of snow. It just if okay. If you didn't grow up in this, maybe you don't understand. Get it. But if you grew up in it, it's a whole, as the kids, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole thing. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm older now. I respect the nicety of not having such an extreme season because when Brother Barry get on, we'll talk about that negative 20 or 30 or whatever they've been dealing with up there. Y'all keep that shit. I'm good on that. But for, I'm still 50, 51. I want a little, just a little hawk. Just give me just a little hawk to come through. Be like, ooh, that's good. Lord, this little nippy outside. Gee, Mo, Nettie. Let me go over here and give me some candy canes and let me get some apple cider. Let me give me some chocolate with the marshmallows. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe a little something up in there. But it don't feel the same. Anyhow, that's my rant about the holiday. We will be back afterward. We are looking forward to spend time with our folks. I'm not spending time with nobody this year, to be real. I'm going to be here. I'm not going nowhere. My ass is tired. As you all know, I've been on the move for the past month or so. So I'm going to take it easy and chill. But I think I'm going to go somewhere for New Year's. It's still heavy on me and I'm looking forward to doing something different for New Year's this year. Normally, I just sit in the house and chill, but I think I'm gonna twist that and move that around a little bit. To be honest with you, I think I'm gonna do something different this year. But for the next 2 weeks, there'll be short work weeks for me, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm looking forward to some downtime because I need it in a number of ways. I even started participating in a vitamin regimen last week. Yeah, last week. So I didn't want to wait for the new year. No crap. I'm not doing none of that crap. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it now. So I did it now, and it's definitely changed how I feel. Definitely, it's also changed how I relate to food thus far. I'm doing the ashwagandha, the apple cider vinegar, and the pre and postbiotic. Now, as a cat that noticed on some pictures that gut is getting out there. I'm like, yo, but I'm not eating like that, right? Which is a problem because you need to eat to lose weight. You definitely need to do that. You also need to exercise. I'm like, I move a lot, so I don't know what I'm missing out on that part. I'm not eating like that. I know I need to curb the sweets. That's one of the reasons I'm doing the pre post and the apple cider vinegar. But we'll see. We'll see. I've been pretty regular already, just making me even more so, which is a good look. And again, we'll see. The jury is out right now. It's too soon to even start to talk about it, but I changed my pillows too. It's a lot of simple stuff. Went to Costco the other day. don't go to Costco, y'all. I'm not in. Just don't go to Costco and expect to spend anything less than $100. It don't work. It's unnatural. Every time they get me, they be lying. They be like, you can just come in and get one thing. And they be lying because next thing you know, you got a whole damn cart worth of shit. And they had the Alvino lotion on sale. It was freaking. It was $13 for the 2 pack, 24-ounce 2 pack, 13 smackaroonies. I was like, man, it's the winter time. I need that. So let me get two of those. And I got two of these, and I got two of those. I got some new pillows. And the new pillows, it was a 2 pack, and it was only $15. And I was at the Hilton last go around, and I was like, man, I'm really digging this pillow situation. I sleep a hell of a lot better when I'm in their bed with their pillows than I do when I'm at home with my pillows. So I was like, I need to get some new pillows. Lo and behold, I come back and again saw them joking, so I clipped those up and kept moving. Uh, yeah, I'm through with all that. So we're gonna get into this week with the Trump primetime address and all those layers. Uh, we're gonna talk about the Brown shooter, the apprehension of the Brown shooter, and how that went down. Some more Epstein files were released this week, and Representative Stefanik, she decided to not only pull out of the gubernatorial race in the great state of New York, she also decided to not run for Congress for reelection to Congress. We've been talking about the potential of more and more Republicans falling off because of the drag that they're feeling from the current administration. The seeing is a different thing, though, right? So when January rolls around, and I think some folks are going to really wait until the new year, we're going to see what that really looks like and who's really going to jump ship. No pun intended for the boat strikes that the administration has continued to carry out, even though there's no directive from Congress to do so. I'm listening. I don't want to jump around too much, but I'm listening to the speech that he gave, and he was talking about securing the southern border. And one of the things he said was the last administration claimed that they were waiting for Congress to act and provide legislation and guidance on what to do with the southern border. Well, we've done what we had to do, and you turns out you didn't have to wait for Congress. That's not right. That's not true. That's not true at all. Yes, you can act unilaterally, but that doesn't make it legal. And right now, what you're doing isn't legal. It's been accepted because you have a Congress that is willing to turn a blind eye to what you're doing because you are in alignment with the same party. You still exert control in the House, you still have control in the Senate. So you've been allowed grace because you're in the same party. But that doesn't mean that it's right, nor does it mean it's legal. Now, as I sat in the gathering last week, I think I may have brought this up on the show. Maybe I didn't. But a number of things that I'm hearing in the streets, on the television, and just in real time are folks' belief in the system. It's a beautiful thing what we have in this country. It's the democracy, the republic, however you want to slice it, because we are a republic. We operate as a democracy, but we are established as a republic. And for the republic on which it stands, that's the Pledge of Allegiance, right? There's belief, there's your belief, and there's someone else's belief. Both of those can be true. What we're seeing is that other person's belief. What we're seeing is that other side of the pillow, pun intended, that says that I believe the way our republic is established, that the president and the presidency is above all and everything. And until the Supreme Court makes a ruling on such, they're going to do whatever they want to do. The danger in that is the Supreme Court has been laid out in a manner in which it lays or tilts heavily toward the thinking that the administration has. Now, why do you, not why? That came to be because for the past 40, 50, some way, you may even say, I don't want to sound like the president too much. You may even say 60, 70 years. The Republicans or folks who think like this iteration of Republicans think have been challenging the system to find cracks, fissures, and areas of opportunity. What they've done now has found they've come to find a person who is willing to push forward that way of thinking, who is willing to move quickly and forcefully with that way of thinking in order to accomplish as much as they can. It's a blitz. It's a blitzkrieg. It really is. They want to pound, 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 pound as heavily and quickly as they can to get as much ground as they can. So if they have to give up something, they still got a lot. So if I got to move 5 feet back, I've still gained 20. I still got 20 feet on you. I may have given you five back, but I still kept 20. That's what this is about. It's a power grab. It's a money and a power grab. Money. Don't forget to follow the money. Read an article just the other day. Trump, one of Trump's companies, is talking about a merger with another company. This is a multi-billion-dollar merger. It's a money grab. Fuck the emoluments clause. These cats don't care. They don't care because no one's there to check them. No one's there with their hand on the lock saying, you can't do this. There's no entry for you. Okay, you may have slithered in, but we got to get you out. And when you leave, you got to leave everything that you may have captured or taken or touched when you came in. You got to leave it all. No one's doing that right now. So, what motivates them to stop? What motivates them to change? What motivates them to really put the American people and the American public first? Nothing. Nothing. We've been saying this since this Joker won. We were saying this before he got elected. The danger with a reelecting him, is he was going to put people in place that were going to just be yes people, yes women, yes men. That's it. And because of that, he was going to be able to get his clause and then allow some of them access to information, to structures, to levers of power that they should never have access to. They were denied this access in order to put some safety valves on us to protect us. Some, not total, but some. Now, the hens are really, I'm sorry, the wolves are really in the hen house and doors closed behind them. If you're a hen, what chance do you have? What chance do you have? Now, what you can hope for is that the wolf gets full. And in that gives you an opportunity to live a little longer, or it may even give you an opportunity to escape. But once that monster gets hungry again, who says you're not next? Even if you may not be first, you still may be next. So that is the problem. That is one of the problems that we're facing right now. Huge problem. Huge problem. Because again, there are no controls that are saying it's not true. Very few controls that are saying no. The controls are the judges. And what they've even found in that is okay, let's not bring any of our issues through this judge over here. Let's make sure we file a motion over there first. because we have a more favorable chance or we have a more favorable judge over there. Look at the girl down in Florida. Look at her and the ridiculousness with the files and that whole situation. Eileen Cannon, look at her, and just the foolishness that she allowed to happen because she is aligned with the Karen administration. So when you have folk whom will allow you to do what you want to do, you continue to knock on their door. You continue to go routes through them. Okay, so I can't get it over here, I'll get it over there. And once I get it over there, that establishes a precedent. Well, now there's a duke out between the two different agencies or courts. So now it has to go to mediation. Well, if it can't get settled there, then it goes to the Supreme Court. And guess what? I got the Supreme Court. I got the Supreme Court by the short and curlies. I still win. I still win. I saw a blurb this morning when I rolled over. It said that this is the first rebuke of an emergency um, injunction. Thank you. That the Supreme Court rejected. I'm sorry, from the Trump administration, that the Supreme Court was like, yeah, no, we ain't gonna hear that. And it's a case involving uh, first the freedom of speech on the immigration judges against the administration. The administration was trying to discharge the case. They appealed to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said, "Nope, we're not going to hear it. We're going to allow the lower courts to sort it out." This is the first time that's been done since the administration's come in, and this is a sign that maybe there's a slither of lawfulness left in this country as with respect to the three branches of government, because they have been all three have been running lawlessly for quite some time because they have not gotten what they wanted, so they have chosen to get it all now while they all are in agreement with the agenda. Morning, brother Barry, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Morning,
Yourself?
sister Rashi, how you doing?
How you brothers doing today?
I'm
Well,
doing,
well, 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 well.
doing all right.
So I haven't gotten into any of the specifics topics that we wanted to talk about today. Talking about playing the Black Santa Claus for the schoolhouse not too far from my work, and just how this administration has built upon or taken advantage, I should say, of the past 60, 70 years of challenges that have come through the legal system to precedent, and now that they are in alignment, how they are trying to push rapidly for the changes that they've been looking for, because they've been denied by people previous to now that have been standing in the gap saying that's a little too far, this is a little too far, no, you can't do that. But I wanted to catch up Rashi first, because not a ladies first situation, but sister, you are in the midst of a very well deserved break. Am I not correct?
Oh Lord, let me tell you something. I actually almost hurt a child yesterday. They started talking that foolishness, and I started thinking about how much I had in that 401k, and I was like, "Ooh, maybe I could cash out with my $7,000," but I'm not gonna do
Oh
it.
wow.
I'm not gonna take it and try to live the rest of my life on it. But yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
but the families needed to, like, this was a really interesting little block quarter we just had. This last quarter was quite interesting. I mean, on a government stance, everything is in flux. So we didn't know what to do with our sped kids. We didn't know what the government was about to do with children, who learn exceptionally. We didn't know how hungry our children were. That food stamp situation came through because they used to throw them fruit cups in the trash, and they started stockpiling them like it was war rations. So y'all gonna hear my granddaughter here. What you want? Uh-huh. Just sit down somewhere. So I started seeing like my kids' clothes would be dirty a lot longer than I. They would be recycling them uniforms for the third time, fourth time. I could see stains from Monday on Friday's pants. Like it, I could just tell that my families were going through it. And so, not only did I need it, they need it. These families need a recalibration period. They need to do this all this damn laundry. They need to make it to the food pantry or all of that because they were suffering. Every time I would call a parent, she'd be like, "Look, I know he so they would not even be able to discuss with me. They were so frustrated and tired. They couldn't even talk to me about how they knew he didn't do his homework. She knew, but she was so tired, Barry. She was so wore out. You know what I'm saying? That I couldn't talk to her about how bad his grade is because she don't want to talk about it. She just got home from. It was just real weird this last quarter, and so I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping that when they come back in January, people's got their braids redone. Cause see that you be in the urban core, it'd be something as simple as overgrown braids, and now a child can't learn. They embarrassed over they braid out being being too dusty or something. And somebody say something, then somebody laugh, and then their attitude is messed up for the next week, or at least until it get done, because they keep clowning them. When dudes beady beads start rolling on, or their hairlines start getting real beady, and everybody start talking about, oh, your family don't love you. They won't even brush your hair, because our kids do that. I don't know if you know this, Lee, but black kids are particularly vicious to each other.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing because we ready for the world by the time we get to it, but we ready for the world treating us like that because we grew each
Each
other
other
up in
like
that
that.
way. Yeah, and so I've been
Mm-hmm.
trying to chop away at that pain that they feeling from being poor. Like I work in one of the poorest districts in my community. In my
So,
city.
you are at a Title One school.
Baby, they trying to make it a title negative one. It's so broke up in there. It's really really bad. But we are also the most dense part of the district. So most of the people live here, and it's a lot of apartment complexes and high rises. So out of one building can come 50 children.
Mm, mm, mm. So I was saying how my donation this year went to a Title One school not too far from my work, and we uh because I asked my staff for some donations and they gave it to me. We definitely made some kids happy this year. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I'm
We
glad
gave
because
them
you know what y'all president told them. Y'all president told them to get their one toy and sit their ass over there and shut up. I mean, he's literally said you ain't gonna get. I mean, he tried to prime him. He said, "I'm finna take your daddy's job.
right,
One of your parents is finna be unemployed, and they're
and the
not
other
gonna
one will remain underemployed.
underemployed. I'm gonna any capacity for you to shore that up with food stamps or government assistance is going to be nullified. I'm gonna shut that whole thing down." And so
Mm,
it just the children really know. They know this is going. Not only is it not a white Christmas in Kansas City, we having a brown Christmas this year. The only thing they did get for Christmas for real is in Kansas City it'd be 60 degrees.
mm.
And I was like, y'all, that's not look. I'm teaching weather and climate. That's not. I'm trying to. They said, yay. I said, well, actually, nay, because on in December on this way to January, it shouldn't be 60 degrees in Kansas City.
Mm. So you said that's what you mean by brown Christmas? Because I was saying
Yeah.
that about being in Vegas. Like I'm in Vegas and it did
Yeah,
not feel Christmassy at all.
it's
You
always a
driving
brown
down the
Christmas.
street.
Yeah,
Right. You know what I'm saying? You got some freaking palm trees and some
with
cactus
the with the
decorated
lights
with
on
damn
it.
Christmas tree lights. What the hell? That don't look right. You know what that crap
uh,
look like? Look like a damn dildo. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what the hell?
I grew up with that, Lee. I grew up in San Diego. That's how San Diego be every year. I got Bermuda shorts and would be outside playing with my toys in my shorts and flip flops. And so that it's just a different mindset. But right, but we trained for a white Kansas City Christmas, and they just looking outside, and they like, oh, you're not going sled nor a damn thing. You finna sit up in that house and watch and hope that your stepdaddy could afford a new game for your PS4 because baby, you are not getting no PS5. All right.
Mm-mm-mm.
So it's a new mindset, and I almost kind of like it, y'all, because we were, you can only ball out of control for so long. Eventually, you got to pull back and make it so that one, you don't blow out the expectation of the child. Because if it's a new PS every year, hell, they ready for their PS 5.5 this year, right? Because every year you give them something new every year.
Man, you need to slow your damn tongue because I'm waiting for my new Samsung 20 S26
Exactly,
Ultra next year. I ain't even gonna lie,
exactly,
I already been
exactly.
looking at it. I done planned it out. I
But
just
see,
started putting a couple pennies
but when
on the
you blow,
side. I'm like, yeah, I need to get that in my. I haven't
and
had
I'm
I haven't
so
had a new one
glad.
since 2024.
So
Rashi, now
I
come on
suggest
now,
y'all consider
it's time.
Kwanzaa. Look, Brother Barry, do you celebrate Kwanzaa? Because I know I do. I do because I found it to be one, cheaper. Two, let's stop playing. Then I can spread the love over a week. I don't have to be feel like if it's something that didn't happen on Monday, no worries. I can get
Right.
them. I can get them for Friday, right? For that next Monday,
Hmm.
I'm gonna come to it. And more importantly, they know not to expect no people who celebrate Kwanzaa know. Stop looking at me for really high ticket items. Look for me for things that you actually need, not necessarily want. And so that's why I busted my family back down to Kwanzaa. We had to get away from that Christmas shit. I couldn't afford it. But Kwanzaa, I can afford. I can get you a nice sweater. I can take you out to dinner, right? And I can
Hmm.
get that one thing that might last 9 out of the 12 months, other than the sweater. That one thing that might plug in, but it ain't no game. I don't know how to explain to people. It ain't no game. It's something else. But we have to pull back. I mean, I literally sound like Donald Trump. I hate to say it, but we have to pull back. We have to pull back as a nation, or else what? And I think we've been doing good, y'all. No Target. We didn't kill Target. We got
No,
Walmart real good this
no,
year.
no,
Who else
no.
did we get? Oh, we got Amazon real good this year. We made
I,
them cry a little bit.
want to caution us on saying that we need to pull back because people
Yeah.
need jobs. And this idea that we have, and this is why black nationalism sounds a lot like white conservatism a lot. It does. It's almost this anger that other people can have. It's the same conversation we have with reparations, where people say, "Oh, well, the white man gonna make the money back." Duh, the white man own most of the things you got to buy. Most black folks don't own land to have wood so you can build a house, or own manufacturing plants so you can buy trucks or cars or whatever the case you may need to do those services. It's a little bit of common sense in it. You need progression of the economy. And the reason why you need progression of the economy at this point is because people 401ks for their retirement is set up into the economy doing well. And if you start talking this regression piece, then the people who have been paying for things to be ahead are going to be the ones that's going to be hurting. And so we're all interconnected. Now, can we pull back on some of the materialism of the country? Yes. Because I say this all the time. Americans, especially Black Americans, in the last 7 years, we spend more money on foreign vacation soils than we actually do in our own communities in charitable aspects. And I don't hear us talking about pulling back on that. So, maybe we can pull back on Dr. Miami. Maybe we can pull back on these plastic surgeries. Maybe we can pull back on some of these galas that we don't necessarily need to be dressing up all the time in. Maybe we can pull back on
Why you
that.
need a 100-inch TV?
No, don't talk
Why
about
you
the
need a
TV
100-inch TV?
because my wall because it fits my wall, and
And
uh,
football season.
and if I want,
You see what I'm
Them
saying?
cowgirls ain't going nowhere.
You see what
Let
I'm
that thing
saying?
go, bro.
hey,
Let that thing
listen,
go.
wait, hold on a second now. Why is it that my 100-inch TV is a problem? Because that's a job for somebody. Somebody got a
True.
job building that TV.
Do that. Do that.
So you need that 100-inch TV because that might be extra hours in the sweatshop that somebody get to pay so they don't jump in that net. So you got to think about the ramifications of some of these things that we're asking for on a consistent basis. because we don't really understand how interconnected the economy is, not only to us nationally, but also internationally, where people have to put these things out. So, that's just my 2 cents on it. I get we always feel like we need to have less, but that's just typically the progression of human beings. We think about where we came from. We got way more, Rashi, even if you peeled it back, than what they had in 1865.
Cause
You
I
you want to go
loved
back
my
to that?
Cause I loved
Yeah,
my
but
Life-R.E.A. I had the
so,
Life-R.E.A. thing. My mama gave me a
right,
chemistry set,
right,
but I
right.
don't know.
So do you want
did
to
you
go
have
back? You want to go back?
did you
Yeah.
have the bake oven, the easy bake oven?
No, I didn't want that shit. I don't give me no baby dolls, and I don't want no oven. I got me a chemistry set. I told her early, don't play them games with me. I will not be domesticated. Uh,
They
no, give me a couple of outfits, and the only thing I needed to plug in was maybe a little. Let me tell you what I really wanted: the CD player with the tape in front. And then you could take the speakers off. You remember the one was a CD player and you could
oh
detach
yeah.
the
Yeah,
speakers,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it was through and I could put one speaker over here and put one speaker over there. Man, I went crazy for my detachable speaker CD tape, but it was in 1990. That could have been a big ticket item. You understand? For my mother, I don't know what that looks like for her. I know it happened though, but for my children, I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. I realized that it's not my family's values. It was my mama's family's values, I guess.
I mean, listen, and to each his own. But I always ask that question because are we willing to go back to 1861? Are you willing to repeal your rights? When you
Mm.
can say as a woman, when you don't want to hump, you ain't got a hump. Are you gonna go back to that? Because because you're gonna want progression in
Rashi
controlling.
ain't helping nobody.
I get it, but I'm saying in 1861 she wouldn't have no choice.
She wouldn't
And,
have no choice.
and
Rashi, you got to
Honestly,
give
I
us the
wouldn't.
goods, girl.
And he's absolutely
You got to
right.
give
My
us the
family
goods.
and my family are breeders. No woman in my family had less than 6 or 7 children, including me.
mm. So yeah. So I'm just saying, so progression is a part of it. I think to hear Donald Trump to tell the American people that they got to take less, but then they're having the Great Gatsby parties and things of that nature. It doesn't seem like it's regression for them. So I'm always questionable about the rhetoric. I got my lady friend. We talk about business all the time, and I always laugh because anytime I'll talk. She loves vacations. Like she's planning a vacation right now. She loves giving money to them resorts. But if I say, hey, I'm going to buy this land or I want to buy this house or I want to purchase, oh, you love to buy things. And I'm always laughing because I'm like, yeah, I'm buying things that I know that's going to appreciate with value over time. What is your vacation like? Memories, this idea that black folks is almost like heaven can wait. We will invest in the vacation because white folks said that's what we're supposed to do, but we won't invest in things that we know that's going to appreciate in times. Marlon said Trump wants average Americans to take less so wealthy can have more, and that's very true. It's very true, Marlon, and that's part of that pitch, and that's why it's always been that pitch. It's been that conservative pitch consistently, and you have to look at the people who's always fed it to us. It typically been at the top of the pyramid, telling the people at the bottom of the pyramid to take less while their families go on vacation, while their families enjoy the wealth of that organization or that religious aspect of it, right?
We don't even know how to do it right, Barry. Like you just said, we buying shit that don't matter. If we gonna learn how to, if that 100-inch TV is still there in your house in 20 years, yes, it was a sound investment. But you know the nature of these new TVs.
Cheap,
Them
right?
motherfuckers, you can't even move it from wall to wall before it start pixelating.
But it's cheap. But TVs are cheap. You go buy you a 85 incher for
Yeah, yeah,
$600. So this
yeah,
idea that we're still saying that it's the TV, let me tell you,
yeah.
them locks that sisters are getting, that shit costs more in maintenance than a goddamn TV. You're gonna spend more on your hair as a woman in a year than what a man is gonna spend on that TV that you're gonna sit your narrow ass on that couch and watch more than he is. So when we talk about the things we complain about and then the things
True
that
that.
we invest in, because I could always say, hey, I can call my stepmom right now. She'd be like, I ain't never went to no beautician. I did my own hair and I did my daughter's hair and I did my sisters and my friends' hair. But
That's
ain't
where I'm at. I do my own here. This a recalibration, brothers. You have to hear us be afraid to participate in an economy where you can't stockpile and you can't prepare for tomorrow. Even being splurging now gives us a little bit of an anxiety because we don't know what America's going to do to our household down the line. So when I'm saying pull back, it's not so that we can buy into rhetoric. I say pull back just based on the stochasticity of the economy right now, up, down, round, round. First of all, we just had a crash. We just crashed not too long ago, and then we had a record day afterwards. So how do I know to prepare for stochasticity? You pull back. You don't ball out. You pull back.
I mean, ain't nobody balling out at this point, though. I mean, I think, like I said again, I think it's just all about perception. There's a lot of stuff that Black people have to buy because they are in deficit. So when you're in deficit, you're gonna either buy cheaper things, and if you buy cheap, that means you're gonna have to buy more because typically the wear and tear on cheap things are not going to be long. Two is that we just have to learn the not just the value of a dollar, but we also have to learn when we have opportunities to invest. Opportunities are a little bit different in what you invest in and what you don't invest in. And we have to be a little bit more collective in that investment. Had an interesting meeting yesterday with the Jewish community, some members from the Jewish community inside of North
How did that
Carolina.
go?
Interesting. We'll talk about more about it offline. So
Okay.
because I don't want to go too much into the depth, but
Gotcha.
but I do
Gotcha. Fair enough.
but I do want to say what I told them, and I'll say this to us on this stream. What we can learn from them is their collective economic prowess. What we can learn from
Yep.
them too is they're proud of who they are and their heritage. It was a speech I heard on Thursday at a Hanukkah party that they invited me to. And I'm listening to the speech, and I said, man, my speech was not as fiery as that speech on purpose at the NAACP this past September. But he got a standing ovation. There's a rabbi who spoke at the end, and he talked about, shining the light and how they're supposed to be proud to be Jews and taking on a heritage, the whole nine. And I said, you can't give that speech in the African American community because it's going to be somebody Black who's going to criticize the fact of what you spoke of. You left somebody else out, how you didn't talk about the importance, if, as a man, if you didn't talk about the importance of women. But those Jewish women were there clapping just as hard as the men were clapping. Everybody understood it. Everybody felt it. And for me, I'm not a Jew. So I didn't necessarily, I didn't feel like it was necessarily directed at me, but I could also respect the idea of them being proud of who they are and their heritage. And one other last point that I checked out when I was in their synagogue. I love the fact that in their synagogue that they did have historical books about what they went through. And that's one of the things I wish the Black church would get more into. There's more books than the Bible. And there's more books that can speak to you than verses talking about Jesus.
You on fire with that one, brother.
And the Western names, and also the Messiah complex that we suffer from. We have to figure out a way to get out of that Messiah complex because too many of our leadership feel like they are the one. They feel like they're Neo, and it's not going to take a Neo like it's a system. You're fighting against an entire system. So from that meeting yesterday, that's what I took. And I do want to say one other thing too, because some people were asking why are we meeting with them and what's going on in Gaza. Well, the Minneapolis NAACP's responsibility is to the kids in North and South Minneapolis, Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, and the surrounding suburbs. While it's important to understand what's going on inside of Gaza, you also have to make sure that you're taking care of what's going on with the children in your community. Far too often, I'll use this analogy real quick. It's like two parents in a house. They got a child that just broke their arms, but mom is upset because dad tricked off the bill money gambling at the gambling house. And the kid just broke his arm. Or do you talk about the bill money or the light bill, or do you talk about getting this kid's arm fixed? Well, anytime we're talking about better in the Black community, we always have to bring in other people. And I always want to caution us on that because Black folks understand that about Black leadership. And Rashi said something about Trump. She talked about how Trump is moving so fast and so swift with the things that he's doing. Well, why is Black leadership always moving so goddamn slow? And I said that at a meeting with Black folks who were trying to deny or delay a meeting.
It's because we reactive, brother. Reactive is never going to trump proactive, ever.
100%. But the other thing is, Rashi, when you have to go talk to your handlers when you have to go really talk to your real boss, who's typically white folks, you have to be gentle with your step. And that's just what that boils down to. You have to be gentle with your step. So I'm a firm believer that we have to step that up. And if you're sitting at tables and you have black leadership in this climate that is talking about slow and deliberate, while you see in Trump moving quick and swift, no, you need decisive leadership at this point. We've had a long time to study the disposition that we're in this country. Anybody's talking about slow is just telling you to hold up until they get back from vacation.
And they meant that too, because they went on vacation right when we needed them the most. They good at that, boy. They know how to clock out. They almost good as me. As soon as they get on my nerves, I clock immediately out. But just to that, let's talk about that. We have a government that when it's time for them to handle out what we said we need for them to do, they clock out. They clock out and go home. This is their third time doing it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this comment in because I think this comment is real important. Um, so, bro, Nate said, I'm taking my wealth and leaving this evil, racist country. Sadly, some black people never ever leave this country and they think that the whole world is America. I agree with that. The same way this country is, and there are better places on earth, safer places on earth for black people than America. He spelled America with the KKK. Bro, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, you definitely need to get out. You definitely need to get out the Western Hemisphere too.
They all
Because
rushing to get here, me. They all running to get here.
who's they? Who's rushing to get here? Who's that?
Definitely East and West Africans. They love America. The Caribbean too. Don't go down there to Florida and Texas. They down there. The
Sis,
America that we hate is the America they barely understand. So they come in, they're rushing to take what we are sick and tired of and ready to let go. Just
sis.
tell that brother that he's going to get replaced by a Haitian.
Um,
If not, Trump could help him.
okay.
A white
But
South
the,
African.
the Haitian, right, for real, right? Haitians different all the way around. But if you go to Europe, I think more Africans are rushing to go to Europe than they are America. They understand that they are a tad bit more safe in the majority of countries in Europe. They have better healthcare in Europe, and they're closer to home. But I see your point because there are a lot that are here, but I think more are rushing to Europe. And please understand, they're being recruited by Asian countries. So I got to disagree with that.
So
Okay,
Um,
that's true. If you tell me, hey, come to my nuclear green glowing city, I got
Brother Jamar,
I got two Japanese women here waiting on you, and three different ancestral homes that I'm gonna pay you some poultry money to rebuild. And please,
right.
what do we do? I mean, that's the same thing Ghana doing. Come back home. We love you. We have so many properties for you to rebuild. Like, what are we doing?
I would just say this, y'all. I think that what we should be doing in America is what we did in 1865. And we got out in Reconstruction and we just found land, we found towns, and we just built for ourselves. And sometimes you
Mhm.
have to do that. You don't have to be tapped into the matrix. Like I was sitting there like looking up honestly the flaws of Facebook while I was trying to like build my app up because I'm trying to figure out not to create the same flaws. And one of the flaws that they said is because of how it drives people to always be online. It always reminds you that you got comments that you didn't comment on or whatever the case may be. But when people stepped off of Facebook, their depression and mental health got a lot better. And they said that they omitted that in the report because they don't want people to know that if you are not on these devices as much as tapped in, if you really had projects that you were doing in your personal life, you'll be a lot more happier. And that's part of the problem. It's the rhetoric. Like we're too tapped into, as I was saying at the synagogue. Man, Trump is a representation of the collections of the ideology of all Americans, black, white, Jewish, native, whatever the case may be. That ego, that arrogance, we all got a little bit of it in it. That brashness. That's why we always laugh at the dumb shit that he say, right? Because that sarcasm, that little spite, whatever the case may be, like you got to ask yourself though, are you willing to give all of this up that our folks died for what? You're dealing with a group of people that's already on their way out. They're pretty much being breeded out, and they're trying to figure out a way to stop other people from breeding. Now, black folks done tapped
Mm,
out. Black folks done tapped out because we don't even want to have sex no more, not with each other. So you got to
mm.
understand that
Or
that's
we may want to do each other, but we may want to do the same thing.
man, come on, man. But that's a part of that conversation of being inside of their schools and being indoctrinated. So when you have their indoctrination, for or against, pretty much is still going to be the same as France Fanon. And so that's our issue. Like we got to understand, like, yo, why would you want to give it up when you've already made so much progress? But it's still a lot of places to build. And if you think of line, I'm just looking online in my grandmother's hometown of Helena, Arkansas. There's 50 some odd acres of land with hunting areas and everything that's wide open for $16,000. Like black folks can buy stuff and build stuff, and you don't have to be tapped in. The white folks said, "Hey, we want to make an all white community," and everybody's in an uproar. Well, black folks should have said,
Mm.
"Well, if that's what they gonna do, fine, we'll make an all black community." It's just all about this idea of being tapped in or having to go by what this particular government says, but there's pockets within pockets. And one thing that I'm learning here with the Somalian situation in the Twin Cities is that clearly there is a black market of money that's moving around. Brother said Helena, Arkansas is in the sticks. That's where my grandmother's from, though, and it's predominantly a black town. 72% of the people there are black. So once again, as black people, do you want to be in the city with the white folks controlling you consistently, or do you want to be out in the country where the black people are at? Choice is yours.
Slow it for a second. Let's go back to the Somalis because a brother commented on the Somalis earlier in the
Mm.
comment section. I apologize, fam. I didn't post that up. Uh, what's going on and what's the latest going on in the Twin Cities with the Somalis versus the regime of the United States of America right now? What's the latest, bro?
So a couple of things. ICE is really ratcheting it up, and we offered the app. We were at the mall. I haven't went back in the week partially because I wanted to get some things situated with the company, and then we'll tap back into them. But ICE is ratcheting it up. They're finding more. They're saying that there may be up to $18 billion in fraud. The fraud got so bad that we had two brothers who came here from Philadelphia to fraud. Uh,
Wow.
they heard about it from someone else. So um, I'm just gonna say this, and I mean this: the Somalis did with the fraud piece. When they say 18 billion, you have to understand the white folks are somewhere around in this. That's a lot of bread. And what I laugh and chuckle about is the same black folks that was online telling us that we should stop asking for reparations are now crying about the Somali stealing. And the same amount of money that
Mm.
they're asking for reparations, the Somalis, if you want to say they are the
So,
ones who stole, if they want to say that it's fraud, well, if you could have $18 billion in fraud, you could have gave $2 billion in reparations legally. And that's part of the thing that I'm chuckling at is we're mad at them for stealing, but we're not mad at each other for coming together for group economics that we could have made a demand on these politicians. So now what do we say? If the state of Minnesota could allow them to fraud 18 billion, can't they certainly give $2 billion for the ask of descendants of slaves for reparations? I'm just asking. I'm just asking. And before somebody say, this ADOS thing, I want to keep in mind before ADOS came back, before ADOS hopped on the scene, nobody from the Pan African nature was really talking about reparations. That conversation was dead. That was there with Cobra in the mid
That's true.
'90s.
Pan Africanists do not like the idea of us trying to get our reparations. They think that it's a global colonization issue, and that every group, if the Haitians get mad and get their reparations from the French, and then the Americans get their reparations from the Americans, and then eventually the ability for us to get our reparations globally gets hindered from the fact that we're asking for individualistic reparations from each nation. The Pan Africanists, and I'm not with it. I'm just telling you what they're saying. Pan Africanists say if the problem was global colonization, then we need to fix it as a global anti-colonization, because some of
Right,
that colonization is still happening. And
right.
so when we go for individualistic reparations, not that they don't want us to have it, and I think that's the argument that we need to make sure we get clear. People who understand Pan Africanism and support it, and I'm one of them, they do not want people not to get reparations. They just understand that if it's real, it's a global issue, not
But,
a
but,
national issue.
but once again, Rashi, that is a perception because in 1865, when it was discussed, it wasn't from a global level. So if you're going to take an idea from the past, right, and there's already articles that was already passed in 1863. That's what we're talking about. So when they talked about 40 acres and a mule, they weren't asking for what was going on in the Caribbean. And that's part of the problem that as I stated before, anytime I'm looking at with Jasmine Crockett, the litmus test for Jasmine Crockett today is how does she respond to what happened in Palestine? Well, that's a hell of a litmus test because that's the same litmus test that we put on Kamala Harris. And what happened? You got Trump now. Are we going to continue
Mm.
with the same litmus test? Are we going to continue asking the exact same things and having the same results? And one last piece again about this Pan African thing. There are two different organizations inside of one inside of Europe, and there's another in the UK, and there's another one inside of the Caribbean. And those groups both focus on reparations, and they do not talk about African Americans. I don't see the Pan Africanists inside of the United States talking about those groups or even aware of those groups for the most part. And that's another aspect of all of this. So it's okay that we ask for what's for us. The idea, and I'll go back to that conversation I said about the two-parent household. Are you going to always focus on that bill money, or are you going to focus on the kids that are hungry in front of you? Because we do a bad job of taking care of us. You got to take care of your house before you start talking about somebody else's house.
Mm. Um. So, uh, 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 I think I'm gonna get in trouble because brother Jamar said something. I didn't read it, and he's like, "You read what I said?" So I'll go back to it, brother. So brother said, "I ain't mad. He's hauling Somalians out of here. MFers shouldn't have voted for him. Sorry, not sorry." Just so I got that comment in. So another comment came. Marlon said he gave Trump gave that dude military $776 this past payday. It's a finesse. He's trying to buy midterm votes from service members. And what I responded to that was absolutely, fam. What it is, not only is it a finesse, it's also a hustle move because that money was already allocated in the terms, in the ways of either BAH or COLA for areas in which people have to pay
Do
more
you
out of
mind,
pocket
instead of
for
saying BAH, do you mind telling me, because I'm an outsider, can you tell me what those
basic,
acronym?
basic allowance for housing. So that BAH, BAQ, basic allowance for quarters, is the same goddamn thing. So when I was a pup, when Rodney found me along the streets, whimpering in the cold and needing of food and water, we had BAH and BAQ. They were two totally different things. BAH was a supplement that everybody got. Even if you were living in the dorms, it was very much reduced though, and that's why when you went to get food to Chow Hall, you got it for free because they took your BAH away. You got it, but they took it right back to feed you. BAQ was for people whom lived off base or on base, and they got that in an actual house on base, and they got that for that. So um, now things have changed and the terminology's changed. It's all a fucking hustle. I think it's all one thing now. I think it's all BAH now.
Hey, you don't think
And yes, Rodney,
he's paying them so they can
I
follow
had
the
that same.
instructions?
Huh?
I think he's paying them for their loyalty. Remember, we just told the
Nah.
military, right? If it's if
He
it's
wants
a not
votes.
if it's an unjust, what do we tell the military? If it's not a just order, you don't have to
It's not a
follow it?
lawful. If it's not a lawful order, they can refuse it. It's their duty to actually refuse it. Yes,
Okay, so
because their duty.
if I slide you a couple of grand, don't you feel more in tune to follow my
No,
unlawful order?
No.
no, not right now. Right now, you like motherfucker. I should have been at this and keep it moving because
Yeah.
stuff is so damn expensive. But uh, I lost my daggone point. I was going. No, Rodney's point. So Rodney, no, it's okay. Rodney said, "Is it going to be taxed? Will it be taxed?"
Ronnie got to
No. I
Uh,
didn't say will
start
it
talking.
be taxed. It will be
oh,
taxed.
Break it
it
down,
will be
Rodney.
yes.
Rodney,
And
break it down.
I was going to say the same thing, but I'll let you speak on it. Go ahead, Rodney. Morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, I was knocked out. I got 90 minutes of sleep yesterday, and I finally passed out sometime this morning. Thanks to the general for giving me that wake up call. This is a scam, and this is a scam no different from Trump University or his fake military charities, because that BAH is just like Lee said, they were going to get that money already, but that money BAH is non-taxable money, right? So it's a scam two ways. One, he's taking money. It's like getting advance pay. If you're only going to get, let's say you were going to get $10,000, right, over the course of time. Well, he's taking 1776 out of that $10,000 and giving it to you now in a lump sum. Then you lose that money over the remainder of that time. Also, when you get BAH, because it's for subsistence, because remember it was BAQ and BAS. BAS was basic allowance for subsistence. That was your food. So
Food.
non taxable, right? This money, this lump sum payment, this 1776 scam is all taxable. So not only are you losing money overall from, well, you're not getting any money, and you get a lump sum and you get less money over time, but you're gonna get even less money because this lump sum is going to be taxable. So you're losing. So he's cheating the military out of money. In other words, it's people say it's raining and he's really urinating on them.
Yeah. So I mean, when I heard it, and I put it in the verbiage for
It's called a
today,
golden
I
shower, brother Rodney.
yeah. When I heard and I put it in, wow, goodness, good lord, I put it in the verbiage for today. I was like, boy, I hope I get my warrior. What the hell they call it? Warrior dividend. Thank you.
Wait,
And
hold on. But let's talk about this though too. On top of the Warrior, what about the Patriot games? That sound a lot like the Hunger Games. What about that? So Rashi, I mean, this is how you peel it all the way back, right? This is what y'all want. This is what y'all want. Less for the kids. Make them go out there and work hard and kill each other, because that's what a patriot would do. See, when you ask for less, they'll deliver.
And that made me laugh for. Do y'all know how lazy kids are? I can make kids cry by making them stand more than 10 minutes.
No. This is different. This is going to be different. And this is what happens when you put somebody off of TV in charge of government. We had to deal with that in Minnesota with Ventura. They don't know how to govern.
got the My Pillow dude up next. He challenging.
And everything
Mike Lindell on his way.
Everything comes off a television script. Once again, feeding Americans what they eat the most. And when you think about this tax that he's taken from, or this whole idea of giving money to the military that he's taken really from a military pot to begin with,
Yes, sir.
and then turn around telling kids that you're going to do from each region. I mean, come on, doesn't it sound like the Hunger Games? From each region, high school kids. What was the age of the kids in the Hunger Games? High school, to represent that region. What are they talking about now? Food shortages? I'm just trying to get people to kind of wake up on this idea. The problem that we're having in this country is that Americans are too slow to wake up. Too slow to wake up, because as Rashi talked about them going home, think about this man playing with the military dollars. Think about what they're asking military people to do. And then think about that vote that took place that was 213 to 211, with 9 people abstaining to give him credence to be able to continue to bomb Venezuela. Think about what's happening in front of our eyes. Think about the idea of January 1st, the people that's about to be kicked off of healthcare because they can't afford it. And then ask yourself once again about what these kids are going to do, because some of them are going to have to play in this patriot game, possibly to save their grandmother from dying.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we talked about that earlier. Again, during the
Hunger
run
Games
up,
came. Americans in the Hunger Game, we lost.
but we talked about that in the run up to the election. We spoke on how the military was going to turn into the only option for a lot of Americans as job losses were surely going to happen and even ramp up. We talked about how that seemed to be intentional because you're going to need loyalists in order to surround you when the folks get tired of your bullshit and they stand up and want to push or kick you the hell out. So, nothing unexpected, sad, but nothing unexpected. Yes, so Rodney said that's why the military is not supposed to follow an unlawful order. Take was That was the safeguard that made us different and better. You're absolutely right. We spoke on that not too long ago. But as I said a month or so ago, when you have folks whom are career folks and can retire or very close to retirement, that's not true, can retire or beyond retirement age, and they are faced with making a decision to fight, which a lot of them have. They are getting booted out, they're being asked to leave, or they're choosing to leave so that they can keep those benefits rolling. Now, what you're doing is you're putting younger folks in whom, as I again said it, they have mortgages, children in school, they have obligations that they're still needing to meet. And they are not as willing, in my opinion, to be as rigid and forceful with, we ain't doing that because that's not right. Because they are still dependent on that damn check and on those benefits. So I think that's where we are driving. We are being driven to, not driving, but are being driven to what Pete Hegseth and the like, constantly looking at folks to get rid of, changeover, turnover. I mean, damn, we've had more changeover in the higher echelon in a shorter period of time than I ever can remember in my life. Usually you have some folks transition when a new president comes in. That's natural. And then at or after the midterms, you have other folks transition. Dog, we ain't even there yet. Folks done turned over 2, 3 times, and we haven't even hit the midterms yet. That's sad. That to me says there have been some folks that said we are not doing this shit because this is not right, and they have been ROD, relieved of duty. They have been asked or they have been threatened with assignment to some piss poor place that is not beneficial to them nor their family. And instead of them doing that, they've decided to walk out the door, take their papers, get their paper, and walk out the door.
And I would say to those people, salute, because somebody has to have the integrity to stand up and say, I'm not going to do it for money. That was one of the odd things that I saw at that table. We'll talk offline yesterday with that meeting.
Okay.
It's how we show up in spaces and what we're willing to do and who we're willing to throw under the table at the table for dollars. But I just sat yesterday and just observed. Even though I was hosting, I was observing the attendees, and I will tell you, we are in a situation where if we as a collective, and I'm talking about Americans, don't drop the titles, if you really care about this girl you call America, and that's really what it boils down. How much do you really care about this girl you call America? Do you want her to live or do you want her to die? And that's really what it boils down to, is that it's going to be a collective decision and people are going to have to move beyond the labels And I think that that's going to be a struggle for a lot of Americans. I think a lot of Americans are going to struggle.
Man, you talking about we gotta let go of racism to keep America alive?
It's not just racism. It's not just racism. You said something earlier about Target, and I keep on bringing this up about American corporations. American corporations feed people. I'm sorry, the people who tell you to do it, they don't feed nobody. There's no jobs that they're going to put out here for you. And you got to understand that part of this economy. It's like that's the part that kills me because we're always hearkening back to Dr. King. And I'm like, yo, DEI, it was more white folks that was getting those jobs and we were anyway. Who cares? Like, who really cares? Like, we're mad because of corporations, DEI. We weren't mad that they killed affirmative action. Like, yo, where's the outrage for that? Where's the outrage that they're killing the board of education?
They did it systematically, brother. They did it in the courts. They hired the right judges that would make the legislation that could make that happen.
But you're not hearing what I'm saying, sister. What I'm saying is there is no calling of attention to that. There's no call of attention that they got rid of the board of they're killing the board of education, but nobody's telling nobody to boycott the WWE. And Linda McMahon is still drawing money from it, or the other businesses that these people are attached to. You pick the one corporation, Target, and I keep on going. White folks was boycotting Target before we started. That's why Target ripped out of DEI, to be honest. But we have to learn, if we're going to do those things, we have to create jobs.
Wait. You saying white folks divested because of DEI?
White folks.
And then we divested when they bowled into the wishes of white folks and killed DEI. Then other people start fucking with them.
Yes.
So that means now white people are now floating Target because once they killed DEI, they should have went back in there, right? But if you look online, they are a part of the major force still boycotting it. Are they saying they're trying to be sympathetic with DEI? I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
But I understand it. But what I'm explaining to you is I'm saying that's still a workforce that is still putting black people working for Target. And you got to understand, when those cuts take place, it's gonna hurt them too. I'm not saying I'm against the boycott, but I'm asking what is going to replace it. What else are you gonna create jobs?
They come out, go in there and just buy the black stuff and come on out.
That ain't gonna work.
Hey, listen, I'm just always trying to figure out the realistic angle. And when we see these people who are donating all this money to this wing, are we gonna boycott Apple? How about Google? Are we going to boycott?
I'm fine, but hold on. Now you getting personal. I'm fine with Apple. I told y'all stop using that what I call it, that fruity phone any damn how.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you though, what I've learned this week is that all of the things that you like with your phone are all Apple patents. And everybody talk that stuff about Apple, but your little Android phone is using a lot of Apple technology to make it go. And so
speaking of letting it go, we got 45 minutes left. We ain't hit on basically nothing we supposed to talk about today, but that's all right.
Oh, it's like going files. It's all black. It's all black. We're gonna release it all black.
All right, so let's attack Marlon first. So not attack him, but his question. He said, "What do you think about the blank pages of the Epstein files?" You know that boy is combing through these pages with the Justice Department trying to remove anything that implicates him and what's going on. You know that. You know that the reason this has been the reason that this has been stalled from release so long is because they are looking, cross-referencing, trying to remove anything and everything that connects the dots, the money moves, and others for folk whom are at the top of the spear as far as power, influence, or money are concerned. They're trying to clean this crap up as best possible. They are trying their absolute best to hide, duck, and dodge the fact that them mofos are all in bed together, literally and figuratively. They are all in bed together. Trump, they probably got some pictures of Trump with 4, 5 little young girls. Epstein staying there like, You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Look, I ain't been right since
Obviously, there's
I
something going
got
on.
the imagery of him giving oral sex to Bill Clinton. I have never recovered
It wasn't
from
Bill
the
Clinton.
idea that, well, that's who Bubba was
Marlon
supposed to
said.
be.
No, Bubba's a horse. I told
Marlon
you.
said they showed
They
the
got
pictures of
pictures
Clinton
with
though. Of
Bubba.
course,
They
No,
got
no,
pictures with
of
Bubba.
course.
Bubba was in there.
no. They got pictures. It's not Clinton. It's the horse. It's not Clinton. Clinton nickname is Bubba, and they do got pictures, but it wasn't with Trump and Clinton. Bubba is a horse that Epstein owns.
Okay.
So you
Bestiality.
telling me? So you telling me to replace the image in my thoughts of Donald Trump
Yeah,
having oral sex with Bill Clinton, and
yeah.
then pull Bill Clinton out, and then put an actual horse? That's what you're asking me to
There
do
you
in my
have
thought.
it.
Okay. All
Similar,
right, people. There we go.
to the Russians, similar to them knowing that the Russians have that file of him with the golden shower in that video, and that's what they're holding over him. So no, he is a deviant. So you can hold whatever you want to hold, but that's just pretty much what it is. It's not Bill Clinton, it's this horse, and he's a sick guy. But look, once again, Americans, this is who you want to be. I'll say it again. Like, if we haven't learned anything over the past decade, is that the people that we idolize in American lore are either racist, pedophiles, rapists. You know, just go down the list. They are who they are, and it's almost wondering you got to kind of be sick to get on that pedestal, if you will, because we're finding more and more about these men and these women as we go.
I don't think I was ready. Like I'm ready for maybe a congressman to be a pervert, but the president, the way our president operates is literally, and I'm not. So I'm hood too. I'm hood, but he speaks so to the hood of us that I'm like,
The
did
hood.
he even? Yeah, he is extremely ghetto.
No,
Anytime a man gets killed by his son, and you get up on the internet and talk about that's why he killed it. He dead because he didn't fuck with me. If he would have got on my team and stopped being so hateful, he might be still alive. That is some hood shit. That is ghetto. That
no.
is way streeter than I'd be prepared for. A man who say he went to Ivy League school and was trained and he got such and such a friends. It just seems like he resonates so low. But that's not the problem. Did y'all know since we've been talking, he done blew up some more of them foreigners? He done blew up some more boats and killed
Raj,
some more
Raj,
people.
You got to talk more into your mic.
I got the mic up to my mouth, so I can't talk no more than this. But he done blew up and killed more people since we had that conversation. And so, is that on our docket? How he done killed more foreigners, and he's actually engaged in a war with another country other than Venezuela?
No, that's not on the docket this week. But I mean that goes into the Epstein files, because I believe a lot of this stuff is to cover up. These files are going out. And that's part of the show. Part of the show is misdirection. And you're right, Marlon. Someone is going to leak the real version of the files. And I
Yep.
think I think that some of these leaks, like if you guys noticed that they hid that they hid the testimony of Jack Smith this week. However, there's audio that was played in the testimony that has leaked out of Trump admitting, or you can hear Trump asking the Georgia elected official on how, telling them how to hide the votes. And so that's what's going to happen, because when people hear things, their staff and their aides are sitting there and they're going to record, and somehow, some way it's going to end up on YouTube, or it's going to end up in these internet streets, because the reality of it is this stuff does need to come out. And I'm hoping that we get more photos.
And they need to be held to account.
Oh yeah.
They need to be held to account.
Yeah.
But the elephant in the room is we are not who we thought we were. We are not who we say we are as a whole, not in general, but as a whole. There are a lot of bad actors within the confines of our nation. And these folks need to be held to account. If we truly believe in having a more perfect union And we cannot allow anything even remotely close to this ever happening again.
Yeah.
And the full exposure of what's happening needs to be everyone's priority after this thing is over. God willing, the creek don't rise, it's over. Because again, it ends, I'm sorry. Because again, these folks have now moved into a regime, and regimes are not easily overthrown. They are not that willing to go away. So yeah, we got to make sure that we get to that. Yeah, Rashi, we got that. That's up next. Um, that we get to that, we get to them, and we make everyone understand that this is not who we are, nor who we want to be. There is a strong desire within, I guess, the DNA of our country to project supremacy, no matter how that looks, militarily, socioeconomically, racially, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
But even in that, we have to respect the rule of law and the bounds of the establishment of our country. And these folks have truly gone off the rails. They have pushed us in ways that many folks never even imagined we would get close to.
Yeah.
But they have taken us there. And as the American people, we got to snap back. And we need to snatch back and take these mugs to the imaginary woodshed and whip their ass. And we need to do it in public, not in private. It needs to happen in public so that folk know that
Yeah.
we're not going to stand for this. This cannot happen again. This is not who we are.
So you
Does
agree,
it happen? Don't know.
so you
Hmm?
agree, so you agree with James Carville because that's what he said this week. James
Yeah,
Carville said that it has to be. It can't be. This is just what it is, and these invisible morality
correct.
is that people need to be
Nope.
dragged on the carpet and really held accountable. And I agree. I think I know it's not that I think I know it's going to really take a wiping of what's happened the last 40 years, 40 some odd years to really get this country back to a good, wholesome place. And part of it is just
Right.
thinking of the American people. The thinking of the American
Well,
people is you don't have to always compensate for these wealthy people because their wealth is only their wealth because of our collective input into their pockets. And I think that part of what we're learning under Trump, and it's not that money's bad. Like I said, money is the root of all evil. It's not that money is bad. It's that you have to understand that we have to put barriers on this idea of these people being able to hoard all of the wealth, all of the resources, all of the power, and then manipulate the the spirit of the country. Because really, when you start manipulating that Constitution, because typically, no matter who you are, even black folks still say my constitutional rights. When you start playing with that Constitution and you watch the Supreme Court be willy nilly with the Constitution,
because they playing with it too.
oh man, 100%. And if they don't get their ass spanked, if they don't get their ass spanked, because that's really where it starts. If they don't get their
Roberts needs to be impeached. Roberts needs to be impeached.
whew,
Um, Thomas, Clarence Thomas needs to be impeached.
Alito,
Leto needs to be impeached. They need to
Get that
go.
new one out of there too. The
uh,
heavy set Mexican lady can go too. Sotomayor ain't doing all that much. Sotomayor or that lady that looks transgendered. What's her name? Sarah.
Jesus.
That transgender
Amy
looking one.
Comer Barrett.
And I'm finna get mad at Ketanji in a minute. Cause girl, what is we doing? It ain't no point in putting you up in there, black lady, if you can't. Remember, we used to call black ladies if we needed some order or something done right. We put her up in there. She just a spectator. She just in there spectating. Girl, if you don't come on and start having some conversations with these people to get them back reoriented to space time, I don't understand how we allow this to go on so long, y'all. What is the process for unseating one of them fools? What we gotta do? Because it ain't finding no dirt on them. What do you do to unseat a Supreme Court justice?
Impeach.
Impeachment. They
They,
have to
they,
be impeached.
they need to be impeached. And if Trump is
They have
impeached,
an appointment for life, so they have to be impeached.
if Trump is impeached, they should all be impeached as well. It should set precedent. And what we need to
Correct.
do after they are impeached is that we need to we got to stop coloring within the line when we know that the line is already set with booby traps. You have to do something.
So, okay, so let's think proactive. Right now, we need to be looking at some possible Supreme Court justice replacements. If we gonna get them out, then
Yes.
then we gotta have somebody. It ain't like we can govern with an empty
Rashi,
chair.
Rashi, if you say Ben Crump, I'ma hang up on your ass. I swear for the Lord.
So I was thinking there is this lawyer named uh Benjamin Frump, and Benjamin Frump. Okay, never mind.
Well, I don't know who, I don't know. My thing is the idea that they've made so much money off of some of their rulings and have refused to recuse themselves because of the financial benefit, and then also the political ideologies. You really want the people that are sitting on the courts to be more about the Constitution and the rule of law, and not about the political ideologies. And you're seeing this is nothing but political ideology, time after time. The other thing too is, and I'm glad, I'm glad that Gavin Newsom took the stand to expand, to do the map in California. But I always go back to this, and I'll say this again. You can love or hate President Obama, but one of the biggest mistakes that they made was not appointing a judge in that recess.
I agree.
Because
Totally agree.
because that one
And he
judge,
had
Well,
nothing to lose.
that and killing my grandpa.
He had nothing to lose.
and to me, because, and look, I get I get what Obama was doing, because he's a, he's a constitutional lawyer. He loves the Constitution, so he was just trying to color within the lines, but he didn't think that this would be so far. He didn't know that Trump would be so far out of the line. And I'm telling you, politeness is what it is, and we should have learned from that. And then the Biden administration should have learned from Obama's mistake. And when they got him out of there, they should have allowed Jack Smith. If Jack Smith had the goods that it seems that he has, this is
He
something
said he did.
No. He didn't. He didn't say he did. He can prove he has it. See, that's the
Right.
thing. He ain't talking about it. He has it. He has it. And what ended up happening was the guy who was over the Department of Justice, he decided once again,
Merrick Garland.
I'm going to pull up on the horses.
Merrick Garland.
And
Trying to be nice.
Well, sometimes Lee, I'm starting to believe in some of these instances that is not niceness.
It's fear.
It's either
You think
fear.
it's connectivity?
It's fear. It's fear exposure.
No, you think the connectivity? They connected together?
That too, in ways that we don't see. In ways that we don't see, because what we're seeing through this pedophile situation with Epstein is that the pedophilia piece is a bipartisan situation, right?
Yep.
And I'm
oh
not gonna,
yeah,
and I'm not gonna,
perverts on all sides, girl and boy.
and I'm not gonna say that everybody that's, because Epstein also was blackmailing people financially as well. That was another thing too. But all of that brings everybody together at one table. And when you add finances, you add this sexual deviance. When you add that piece to it, right? They got the nerve to be talking about they want to ban porn. Man, you better ban messing with them little kids first.
Hey.
Hey,
Y'all better leave me the hell alone. I need to do what I need to do.
This country will go up in flames. But Japan does it. I mean, in theory, there are plenty of other countries. When you type in xxx.com, it show the blue screen and say, you nasty, get back to the regular internet. There are countries that have that. And so
But
maybe Maybe we could at least the child porn. How about doing it just for child porn?
Marashi, why are we listening to any group of people who are raping women, molesting children? And this goes back to this whole moral conversation time and time again. These moral police people always are the sycophants behind the scenes. You always got something moral you want someone else to do. But when they pull back that curtain on you, oh, you's one sick bastard. And so to me, you see this time, and you see this in the black community too. You see this in the black community. They said they're not giving up certain positions unless you're a perv, so they can manipulate you later. SC Ketanji dissents are fierce. He is the only one vote, just one. President Barack moved to add a SC judge was blocked. We cannot discount the efforts. Even failed. It was not blocked because he could have used executive order. So you can't use that. Use that on people who don't know. He could have used executive.
He could have done it during the recess.
He could have did it in the recess, and that would have been fine. And people don't like that's the part that listen. And it's okay. It's okay. People make mistakes. It's okay to say you made a mistake. Part of the thing is he's human, and on top of that too is he cares about the country. He cared about the country because he didn't want to set the precedent of if I do this, then what is this guy going to do after me? And he didn't want to set that, but he didn't know. Hey man, dude don't need you to set that example.
Dude crazy. He don't care about none
of that. All of this, like, yo, if we do this, he gonna do that. Oh, he gonna do that, so you can do this.
He gonna do what he want to do no matter what. We need to move on though. Let's get to the shooting at Brown University. And so the shooter at Brown was found dead 2 days after. That was Wednesday morning. So 2 days after he entered a storage shed or storage facility in New Hampshire. Claudio Neves Valentim, 48 years old, from Portuguese. He was a former Brown University student. He also is connected to the death of a MIT professor just days after the shootings at Brown University. At Brown University, 3 people have been pronounced dead. There are 9 others that were injured and still fighting. Now, the thing that I saw during the announcement of the finding of this guy and his body that really got me chuckling was the police chief. He was Hispanic. I'm listening to that press conference, and I'm saying to myself, well, Trump about to deport his ass after this press conference. Now, the way they coming at the Latinos, right and left and right, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I'm just saying, y'all better protect your police chief. If his ass come up missing, ICE got his ass. I'm just saying, they taking anybody and everybody, but they snatching everybody right about that. Everyone's looking for a manifesto, a reason. Y'all, some motherfuckers just crazy. There's no reason. There's no manifesto. They did what they did because that's what they did. There's nothing else.
Wait, Lee. I don't think there's a reason. We just don't believe in the evidence that they're using to create that logic. I mean, we got to be careful here. There's always reason. It's just we don't agree with why.
That's a good point. Right?
Okay, but the reason doesn't have to be known to us. That's my point. I'm not saying there's no reason, but he had his own reason. He doesn't have to make those reasons public. That's my point.
That's if it's him, though. I mean, listen, I'm one of the things that I gleaned this week, listening to these ICE raids and hearing that story about who was the speaker, who is the press secretary? What's her name, Rodney? Levitt. Her sister-in-law being targeted. And then in Minnesota, in the raids here, they targeted the sister of the girl who recorded the George Floyd killing. Right? Like they detained her and had her, even though she's an American citizen. I'm just saying, y'all, it is some strange times in this country. And I'm just saying, I don't know. Like almost now, Rodney, is like, I need verification. Is this really the killer, or is this somebody who just committed suicide? Because we got this bumbling, stumbling FBI that every time, and here's the pattern: we got the killer. Oh no, we don't got the killer. It's a pattern. Why are you constantly saying you got someone that you don't have? At some point, somebody got to smack you with their hat and say, "Shut the hell up! You ain't got nobody." And it's the same. And keep in mind, these are the actors from reality TV that Donald Trump hired. Just keep this in mind, right? Cash Patel don't know what the hell he's doing. And so to me, I know people are so, because that's another thing with America. We're so quick because of television shows, we're so quick to say it's a wrap. We trust it. But with this administration, I think what we have to be cautious about is we can't say anything is a wrap without full verification because they lie so dang much.
And they ready to give his name, brother. His name is Claudio Valente. Now, you think when they ready to do them kind of games, they'll put a name out that can be traced back? They just say some dude. They say some dude, Barry. They don't say Claudio Valente.
Well, you can say Claudio. But Rashi, in this administration, you could say Claudio Valente because it sounds like a foreigner name, and you're trying to get the foreigners out. And look at what he did at Brown College. So no, that they don't say some dude. It's similar to the situation in Utah that everybody's questioning about Charlie Kirk. Is this kid really the shooter, or is this kid just a kid who had family who was upset that he was in a relationship with a transgender person that they were willing to take that government dollars to sell that kid out, saying that it was a 30-06 for World War I. Okay, it's like, because in America, it's this idea of our fear that if they tell us that our fears are be calm, we got it. Be calm, we got it. We accept it. I'm just saying, Lee, Rashi, Rodney, I would like to know more so of this guy and what was his connection to those people. Because to have somebody randomly show up, start shooting, and then go unalive himself after you do this horrific act.
Well, allegedly, the professor was in Portugal a couple of years back as well. So I think they're trying to do that whole angle situation. But I'm not pushing against you, bro. Like,
I mean,
there are folks out here. There are folks out here that are clearly aligned with this administration and will do whatever they are asked to do. So for them to pick this person or pick that person as a pansy does not.
But hits that could be government sanctioned is what.
Correct. That's what I said. To pick those other people as pansies, that does not escape me at all. Let's move on to Rob Reiner. And he and his wife were found dead on Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
No. The 14th.
Oh, the 14th.
That was this week.
Well,
yeah. 6 days ago. So that was like Monday.
No, that's Sunday.
Sunday. Thank you. Yeah, Sunday. You're right. My apologies. And he and his wife, Michelle. Yeah. He was 78. Michelle was 68. Were found dead in their home. And their son, Nick Reiner, 32, is charged with both of their murders. There is a kick up about Nick's drug habit may have been at play for the cause of his parents' death. Mm-hmm. But that was sad, man. That's very sad to me. Yeah. You know,
all I could think about was Marvin Gaye. All I could think about was Marvin Gaye. You know, Marvin Gaye and Amy Winehouse.
I thought about Archie Bunker, to be honest with you. You know, the meathead had finally gone to glory. And that was really the first thing that came to my mind. As a young kid, this was the first white person that I remember that was truly in tune with the struggle of other people. Mm-hmm. He's the first one that I remember. You know, then thinking later on, you look at or remember, I just had somebody else. The cop from Sanford and Son, because he was trying to be down. He was trying to be down constantly. But Meathead was the first one that really, really came to my mind. and just remembering Gloria cry all the time because her father wouldn't insult her husband, so on and so forth. But this cat had a hell of a career. Unfortunately, his life was taken by the hands of his son, and you know, uh, rest in peace to him, his family. Um, then it ate even more because Luke had passed away as well. Now I call him Luke because he'll forever be Luke Spencer to me. But Anthony Geary passed away. He was the actor that played Luke Spencer on General Hospital when Luke and Laura was the whole thing. God dang it! I was in front of the TV like, what's going on with Luke and Laura? You know what I mean? But this guy, I didn't even know he was homosexual, but he was homosexual. Married to a man, married the same man twice. Yep, married the same man twice. Never would have thought that at all, but hey, that's his life. That's how he lived it. And yeah, man, that hurt though. That hurt big time. Didn't even. I mean, that's like Jesse and them next. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, good lord, what am I doing? Jesse die? Like that's gonna be really painful. But yeah, Jesse and Debbie, that's gonna be really painful. You look, stop laughing at me, bro. I'm getting old. Things like that happen now. People die. What?
It's Jesse and Angie. What?
Angie, I'm sorry, Jesse and Angie. Her real name is Debbie. My apology. Jesse and Angie. Yes. Look, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking. Look, Marlon like Luke and Laura. Yeah, fool. You know what I'm talking about. That Luke and Laura, that love story, boy. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was like Cisco and what's the girl name with Cisco was running around? It'll come to me. I ain't watched the stories in a long time, but when I was a kid, I was locked in them stories, boy. I was locked in the story. You could turn me away from ABC. One Life to Live, General Hospital, All My Children. Shh. I sit right up in the house and be good all day. I wasn't going outside playing. I ain't like to get dirty. Hell no. Going outside doing all that sweat, this hot. Not me. I wait till it cool down. Then I go outside later on.
Hey, so I want to say this about Rob Weiner and some of the films that he contributed. Films like Stand By Me and other films that he was the director. He had a good run, and he was a part of. He was
Harry Met Sally. He did When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, but for me, it's just more about the American fabric of some of those stories that's talking about. It's really like.
Hold on, y'all. Marlon said, "Why do black people call them stories? Because they weren't stories, man. No black people call them soap operas. We don't do that crap. We stories, dog.
Stories, yeah, for sure. Cartoons and the stories, and you know what? And I appreciate you calling them the stories. I appreciate that because that was a throwback to when we were actually cultured with our own self. But I do want to say that piece with Rob Weiner, those movies were great movies if you really want to kind of understand the fabric of the country from a white aspect. And I think that's very important because sometimes you only see the Hollywood business person, not those interconnected stories to let you know that all human beings kind of have that link of trials and tribulations. And that was good. That was good to see because, when you're black, you don't know much about white folks in your own community. But to see some of those stories and then the Wonder Years was just that, hey, man. I mean, Stand By Me was just, that was the joint. And I remember the song Stand By Me.
You want to see a dead body?
I remember the song Stand By Me. And I was glad I was happy that song, once again, that was a black singer who sung that song, who were able to get his publishing up. I'm just saying, y'all, man, there's just a lot of stuff in America, and there's a lot of people that make this country what it is. But to see Trump respond to that, man, because that's really the point.
Man.
To respond to him the way that he did. And Rashi, I would tell you that's not street. Because in the street, you could lose your life playing how Trump.
Man, that was so.
I didn't know that. So Marlon said that Rob Reiner did A Few Good Men. I did not know that.
Yeah, he had a.
I did not know that.
Oh man,
hey man, my favorite. The Princess Bride.
Yeah, he had a good run. Like
he did that
too.
Yeah. I fell in love when I saw The Princess Bride. But what I wanted to end with is this.
That is a great movie.
The story, when I say Marvin Gaye, I'm talking about when you have a relationship parent to child where your money, where there is this colossal amount of money and fame and influence between either one of those people,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
whoever has it and whoever don't, or if the one who has it doesn't have it anymore and they come try to get it back, it just becomes this barrier, right? And I'm telling you, it wasn't no argument over potatoes. It was some debt. It was something real, not just even mental illness that makes you kill not one but both of your parents. And so I would not even doubt that he is a contributor, but not even the, because I mean, do we really think he's the kind of person? That's what we finna do at this trial, right? Is he really the kind of person who will stab both of his parents? And we already given him this benefit of the doubt. No, he's a good Jewish boy. He's fine. You know what I'm
Whatever.
saying? But we
Okay.
have to decide whether or not the affluence coupled with the affluence coupled with fame builds possible mental illness in children. You see it
Hmm.
with Britney Spears. You see it with you. There is something there, y'all, and we need to look at this concept of affluence within the family when somebody got that muyan and what it does to uh the overall person who has it. Do they end up like Hammer? You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
MC. So maybe we can discuss that at some later date.
But you got to think. You got to think in the situation with this situation, and as Marlon said, they said he had some serious substance abuse issues. That's one thing. With Britney Spears was actually the one that made the wealth for the family. The family didn't make the wealth for her. They was taking her money. And with MC Hammer was trying to feed the people of his community, which is a lot
Right.
different. He did what everybody black swear to God that we want somebody rich to do. Get on and put everybody on. And he did that. And how did the people repay him for putting them on? So I think those are different things, but I do agree with Sharon. I think there's a lot going on here because I saw a video this week online of a black mother. She had a teenage boy, and the teenage boy was having some mental health issues. And she had her other kids in the car. They were trying to escape the boy, and the boy was throwing rocks that you could see damaging her front windshield as she was trying to pull off in terror. And I'm telling you, these are things that I'm seeing in child protection services where those parents have no way to escape. You can't put these kids out. You can't put them in facilities. Sometimes there's no funding that will allow you to deal with your child with these type of mental health issues. And so there's a lot there that we are leaving on the table because a lot of times we just say, hey, it's your kid, you figure that out. But um, uh, we have to do a better job in this country of dealing with mental illness. And we need more into mental illness facilities
So
around the country.
speaking of mental illness, let's hit this before we close out because we got like 13 minutes left. The president gave a 18-minute speech, almost 20-minute speech, just the other day to the country. Yeah, that see my transition into mental illness,
I
in which
almost
he
said the R word. I
look,
almost said the R
in,
word.
well, yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
talk about mental illness.
You
I was
could
about
say
to,
that.
I was about
He
to say it.
claimed that inflation was going way down. Inflation is still going up. He claimed that prices were coming way down. Prices are still going up. Uh, now, wages have gone up, but they've not kept up with inflation, and they've not kept up with the taxes that we're paying because of his tariffs. He claimed that drug prices were going down by 400, 500, sometimes 600%. Drug prices went down by 600%. So that means that drug companies are literally paying you to take their product and giving you extra money in your pocket as a thank you to you. Okay. I don't know where they do that at, but that's where it is. I don't know where to start. He says he was handed a mess and he's cleaning it up. I don't see where there was a mess. I see we had some challenges, as we always do. I don't see him cleaning them up. I see them being worsened by he and his policies. We didn't get uh, consumer price index numbers. We did not get inflationary numbers. We did not get job report numbers for October or November. How was that helpful to anybody? So he's threat. Well, you already know who he wants to put in as the Fed chair when Powell leaves next year, because Powell's due to leave in May, June, I believe. He's due to leave in May, June. Uh, Powell came out with the rate cut that he announced, and he said that he had no choice but to make a cut because of the headwinds that the economy was facing, job losses, and the like. I don't know about you all. I do not see a quick rebound out of the situation in any way, shape, or form unless we get back to shovel and pitch type work. We really, literally need to rebuild America. Our roads are antiquated, our airports are antiquated, our rail stations are antiquated for the most part. Not all of them, but the vast majority. Our airports are antiquated, most of them. We've done patchwork projects here, we've done patchwork projects there, but I don't know the last time we actually did a full-fledged brand new airport, major airport in our country. I know Vegas is looking at adding a second airport. I believe I believe the Dallas area or the Houston area, they're talking about adding a third. Dallas, I believe, is talking about adding a third airport. Yeah, Dallas is talking. I want to say it was Dallas. Shit, it might be Houston. One of them are talking about adding a third airport. And those would probably be the latest major airports in major cities that we've done in God knows how long. Spirit Airlines is still flying. But it does look like Frontier is going to buy them. Frontier fired their CEO last week late and hired a new one. And when companies do that, that tends to mean that a merger is on foot. Because I know there have been companies that did that and they bought in someone specifically with the talent of merging and or selling. I still hold that merger will go through, and what you're going to see is a rebrand of the two as Spirit because they'll fly under the banner of Spirit because Spirit just has better consumer confidence than Frontier does. But you'll have the network that Frontier does, and that will help both companies as they go forward. Any thoughts on the speech, Rodney? You can stop. Any thoughts on the speech that Trump gave, Rodney?
The
Besides
speech
vote
showed
identification.
the speech showed how delusional and apathetic the country is. Uh, Brother Barry hit it. We should be up in arms, um, not so much against him and his 27%, because I believe that's what his approval rating is now is 27%. So roughly 73% of Americans disagree with him. We have strength in numbers, but what we don't have is organization. So what is it? We're not outnumbered, we're out organized. And this is where leadership comes into play. And to be quite frank, this is where Black people need to step up and get into the game. White people will not be able to do it by themselves, nor will Black people. It will take both of us, and we will play an integral role in it. And anybody who believes that Somalis being taken away is a good thing need to pull their head out of their backside, because remember, you put a Somali and an African American together, they both look Somali. You put a Haitian and an African American
We know
together,
Black.
they
We know
both look
Black.
Haitian. So let's be serious. We are the target, and all of this stuff was to set it up so that they could start snatching us. The same thing goes with birthright citizenship. So Black people, let's look and see what's really going on and act accordingly, or you may be next that's on a boat to some country you've never even heard of.
Hmm. You said something about the $1 trillion surplus that China has. They're able to do that because of his foolish trade policy. They're able to do that because of his foolish tariff policy. That could have been curbed had we done what we normally had done, had we actually made good deals with other countries, because I think other countries would have played ball. You don't have the type. You can talk. I think other countries would have played ball with us, knowing whom they were in the arena with. But I'm trying to curb my words. I'm trying to use my words. This is what we have, and this is where we are. Go ahead, say what you need to say, Rodney. Then I'm gonna go to Rashi.
This is not, once treaties are set, it takes a long time to make treaties. It takes a long time to undo them. We will not be able to go back to how things were anytime soon. Europe is separating themselves from America financially, militarily, and from an intelligence perspective. Again, we need to
That's the
wake
most
up.
dangerous thing.
This is huge for us. And yes, black people will be the ones to suffer, because not only is he going in South America, he's also going into the mother continent directly to black people to steal those resources. There's no place, black man, black woman, you're going to be able to run and hide, because he's after us.
Hmm. Rashi, what you had to say?
Well, you guys have to forgive me. I'm going to skip subjects because I want y'all to know that somebody got beat up the other day. His name is Paul, something,
Jake
something.
Paul.
Paul. His name is Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
And
Jake
apparently,
Paul.
some extremely attractive, well trained black man put him to sleep
Anthony
almost.
Joshua.
Oh, that's his name. That's his name. So, if you got bored and you want to see a little bit of pro-black sentiment enacted in physical form, where nobody has to go to jail, you should go head on and check out that legally sanctioned assault
Ass
that I
whooping.
saw. That good old country down
He broke his
home
jaw.
ass whooping. And
He
let's
broke
see
his
if
jaw.
see if that don't bring a little holiday warmth to your heart, a little cheer to your chest. I mean, in a non-violent, peaceful way. You know.
Really, Thomas,
Thank
what you
you for
got?
that,
We got
Sister
three.
Rashi.
We
Thank
got
you.
4 minutes left.
I'll be real quick. This will be my last show of the year. I'm going to take the next few weeks off so I can actually focus on my company as we continue to move. We got some good news this week, and I want to make sure that I bear down, uh, turn out all the noise as we continue to build. We got some new team members this week, and I just wanted to say this to people out there who are in the position that I am, or even thinking about being in the position that I'm in. You really have to fight for it if you want it, and you have to fight for it. And there is a level of expectation, but you should probably deny all those expectations at the same time. You won't know you're there until you actually arrive standing on top of it. And keep in mind, you're going to hear a lot of things that people are going to persuade you. People are going to give you a lot of ideas that are not your ideas, that have nothing to do with what you want to do. But you have to stay the course. And you have to learn how to stay the course, and you have to learn how to say no to other people, because they'll take your dream and try to make your dream their dream, and you have to stick with the course. So I just wanted to say thank you. And I once again am hoping to have Real Radio as one of the podcasts that we'll be broadcasting when we go live, and with the hard launch in February. We're working out our launch party, so hopefully we can get you guys back here in the Twin
Yeah.
February. We're
Oh,
looking.
that sounds bad. February in the Twin City, I'll go buy me a triple fat goose.
Hey, well, listen, you could take, hop out there and make some snow angels. But what I'm saying, but but for the most part, I just want to thank you all, because I was like pondering what I was going to be on the show tonight, or whatever the case may be, today, because I was up last night and I wanted to get some last stuff done. But I love the fellowship and the conversation that we do, and so it's kind of like a recharge when you're kind of sitting there talking to AI all day, every day, arguing. So I
Right.
appreciate you all. Uh,
Yeah.
I hope you guys are enjoying your time in the three different cities that you guys are in, and I'll be talking to you guys soon.
All right,
All right,
y'all.
Rashi, what you got to say, real quick? Real quick,
Peace.
Rashi.
I said peace.
Oh, okay. Rodney, what you got, real quick? All right, that'll work for me. Look, y'all, we up against the clock. Thank you all for watching live, watching. I can't say listening anymore because they actually see us now. Watching live, watching later. Please enjoy your families. Be safe during the holiday season. If you can bring some joy to somebody, please give it to them because the only thing it's going to do is come back to you twofold. If ain't nobody told you, we love you and a damn thing you can do about it. Until next week, family. Peace.